good evening, good afternoon,
whatever's
going
wherever
on.
Wherever it is, by the
Wherever
time you see
at.
this.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Welcome in, come in.
Grand. All the above.
What's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Welcome
to It Works For Us. It works for me. It works for me, but it works for us. You know what I mean? Today, we're going to go ahead and talk about family.
Familia.
Raising families in particular.
Yes. I also feel like we should put the disclaimer, we don't have our own family, so I feel like this is why we can talk about how we would want it to be, because it ain't there yet.
Exactly. So. This is our idea.
Yes. But for y'all that do, you can let us know what, baby, you thought that was going to happen. That's probably not. Yeah. Or, you know, and this is a safe space of, like, we're not saying just because your family don't look like what our idea, like, baby, we're not judging. We just saying because we don't have one yet. Right. This is our fantasy. This is
what we want to see.
We want, yes.
So absolutely. Okay. So let's start off with the current events. So if I can put it up there, I will. If not, I'm sorry if y'all can't see it on YouTube. I'm going to narrate for the audience that's watching on our podcast. Give me a second. Here we go. So it's a little baby eating some chicken that her daddy made.
It's not good.
And she told him, like, straight up, it's not good. I'm sorry. I need mommy back in the kitchen. So I have the question of, if your child is vocal about something, are you actively listening and including their opinion? Or are you just going to be like, baby, I made it, you eat it? Like, what's going on?
So I came from parents that was like, baby, I made it, you eat it, you ain't getting up from the dinner table till you eat it, or you're going to bed hungry. I would definitely not be that parent. I definitely want to hear my child's voice and give them options. But I've also seen where sometimes you give your kids too many options and they talking about they don't want to eat nothing. So that's not going to be an option. We're going to hear you out, but you do have to eat something. So these are your options, you know, pick from there. And as you get older, you know, the options can... as you get older, the options can, you know, grow and expand. But also, like, I'm a big proponent of, like, I'll hear people be like, yeah, my kids don't eat fruits, or, you know, I don't know what's wrong with them. They don't drink water. Baby, what you be drinking and eating? Because kids, especially at a certain age, they mirror what you do. So if you drinking that water, like, this good, you know, stuff like that, and you're, like, putting that on, they're going to do that as well. Now, some things kids just aren't going to like, you know, and that's okay. But, like, to be like, your kids don't eat healthy or don't drink healthy, you know, all that stuff. And this is essential stuff for their health. Baby, that's on you. But I will say, I am big on choice, just in every aspect, but also with food. Like, for instance, I don't eat meat. I stray away from dairy. Eventually, I'm trying to be, like, majority... Sorry if I had to sneeze. Okay, like, went through my ass. Okay. But I do want to try to eventually be, like, majority, like, plant-based, like, consuming raw plants and, you know, maybe getting it down to one cooked meal a day, whatever the case may be. Wherever I'm at by the time I have kids, I don't want my kids to consume meat or dairy while, you know, they're young enough and they don't really have a choice. When they start to get older and have a choice and go to friends' houses or go to school or go to, you know, family members, and if they try meat and they like it, you can, of course, eat that. Like, that's your choice, your body. I will not cook it for you, but you can eat that. So I'm big on choice within a time frame, because kids also be... So, but kids also, you know, I've had kids be like, I just want snacks. But we're not doing snacks. We're doing food.
I think for me, I definitely pay attention to what my kids genuinely don't like and things they just like. Because, you know, especially toddlers, they be like, I don't eat that. Knowing damn well they eat that. And
you ain't tried that.
Yeah, they just don't want to play with it. Like, so I would definitely pay attention to that. But I listen because I didn't have to eat stuff that I didn't want to eat. Like, there were certain moments in my life where they was like, all right, you need to eat this. Mm-hmm. But I always finesse my way out of it anyway. So, if my kids anything like me, I know, like, it's going to be a challenge. Well, yeah.
No, girl, I was forced, like, my daddy would, like, be like, you, like, he was the Julius of Everybody Hates Chris. Like, oh, you're not throwing it away. That's 33 cents with the chicken, you know, type thing. And me, I'm not a picky person. Like, there wasn't too many things I didn't like. If I didn't like it, it just wasn't cooked well. Yeah. Or the only thing that I can remember that I did not like was peas.
Yeah, same here.
And I love corn. So my dad would be like, oh, I'll just mix them together. And I'm like, you just ruined the corn. So I remember one time I picked all the corn on the side and then left the peas. And he like, girl, you better finish them peas. I'm like, so I ended up, that's my love for hot sauce, because I drowned them in hot sauce so much to where I couldn't taste the peas. And that's how I ended up getting by. But like, I wanted a dog so bad just so I could scoop that out and they could eat it. I'm like, I ate everything else on this plate. You trim about some peas. And I feel like a lot of that comes from people wanting control over the kid. It's different. Of course, you should have, like, your kids shouldn't be running wild, but instead of trying to control your kids, you should understand, respect, and get to know them instead of being like, because I told you so. Because I feel like that was a flat out, I have everything else on this plate. Why I can't get away with these peas? Like, I ate the corn, that's good for me.
Definitely. I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not doing that with my kids. Like, if they genuinely don't like something, then they don't like it. Mm-hmm. But I was also a person where I liked something one week and didn't like it the next. Like, because I was constantly eating that one thing. I would eat that one thing consistently for weeks. Mm-hmm. And then I get to a point where I don't want it at all. Mm-hmm. So my mom would be like, she bought a whole bunch of the stuff that I was eating. Like, I used to eat those, not stroganoff. What's that brand? Start with an S. They had the broccoli and macaroni and cheese combo. Start with an S. Not stroganoffs. The frozen food. They got lasagna. They got the broccoli. But no, I used to eat those Stouffer's macaroni and cheese and broccoli, like, consistent. I used to eat them for weeks. Like, anytime I had nothing else to eat, I'll eat that. And I got to a point where I was like, I'm done.
You ate too much.
And it was a freezer full. And I'm like, I'm done with this. Like, done. So I can definitely, I have to give my kids that grace too of like.
Yeah. But kids are like that. Like, they'll get, like, even with TV shows, they'll get fixated and want to watch the same show for weeks and then will never watch it again. So
they're growing.
Yeah. So maybe you shouldn't stock up on certain stuff to be like, they not going like that next week.
Right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get deep into our topic, which is raising families. So what is your ideal situation?
Okay, that's a really broad. So, like, I mean, like...
So, like, as far as household, like, how do you want your household to run?
Oh, okay. So, I mean, ideally, I would be married. That would be, like, first and foremost. And I'm saying that because that's not a thing for everybody. Yeah. And we also talked about, like, not legally married, but lawfully married.
Right. We didn't talk about that on the podcast, but we have talked about that by ourselves.
Okay. Well, so, that could be another segment. But, so being, ordained in the Lord with marriage, having kids, I don't know, my perspective is changing and may shift when I actually do have kids, but I think for the first couple of years of having the kids, I would be a stay-at-home because like since I work with kids and I am a teacher, I feel like nobody's gonna teach my kids better than me, so I would do that. But I also know me, I'm a busybody. I like to get up, I like to do stuff, so I feel like after I've gotten to a good point where I feel like my kids have a really good foundation, you know they're good, they can talk, because I probably wouldn't want to put them in daycare before they couldn't talk, all that stuff. Then I can put them into school, like, so maybe I'll do stay-at-home mom until kindergarten, and then I will go to kindergarten. I always used to say I'm here for having a stay-at-home dad. Like, if the dad, it can do it all and be good and all of that, I'm here for going to work. So I'm open. Like, I guess, like, ideally that would be, I would just really, for me, is more so financially, I would want the freedom for us to do as we want. Like, if I want to stay home longer, I would want us to be financially free where we're not stressed out, where we both have to work. But I also want the freedom of a job of where, like, if I need to go pick up my kids, or they have a last minute thing, or, you know, something like that, I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
So that would be ideal. I would definitely want them to be involved with, like, you know, a lot of different stuff, you know, all of that. I'm still here for my husband cooking. Like, most of the time, but we'll definitely take turns, and, you know, with that. But I also want us to cook as a family, like get the kids involved and all that type of stuff. Yeah. I know that's not always realistic if you have busy work lives where you're like, no, we need to get dinner done and y'all playing. Yeah. So that's kind of, you know, I'm sure the more you speak on yours, I'll probably be like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. But yeah, for the most part, that's would be my ideal situation, is being able to be a stay-at-home mom for a portion of the time to make sure my kids are good.
Yeah. No, I agree with the whole stay-at-home mom, but I'm gonna go ahead and just go all the way in with it. I want to be a housewife.
Really?
Yes. Because like, baby. No, for real. Because like, I feel like the home is so sacred, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't equate housewife to not having nothing going on for yourself. No. Like, that's not my. But most people do. They like, okay, if you're a housewife, that means you ain't got no income, this and that. I feel like because I want to be an entrepreneur, I can handle my business at home with my kids. Yes. And
but even if you did it, that's a job. Like, that's literally a job. So you would have a second job. So like,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but just to not get it misconstrued, because some people think that if you are a stay-at-home mom, you have to have something on the side. No, baby, you are doing a full-time plus job. That's not 40 hours a week. That's more. Your job is never ending.
Never ending.
So shout out to all the stay-at-home moms.
Yes. No, seriously. But no, I want to make sure that I'm raising my kids the way that I think they should be raised. Exactly. Like, I don't want the world to raise my kids, and I feel like the school system, I don't want my kids in the school system. And those are
pivotal years for a child.
I don't want them in the school system. Like, I want to be able to, if I'm praying that I'm financially stable where I can get a tutor if need be.
No, you
I can
will
get
be.
some.
Claiming
it. I will be financially stable where I can have a tutor along with myself. That's when I can go and do my. Listen, that's when but I'm saying, like, if there was like a situation, we can help each other. Like, all right, you're teaching this subject. Okay, I'm gonna get some work done.
And that's a community.
Exactly.
So like, yes, and even going back to so actually, honestly, that's ideal. So I think I was telling you about this book I'm reading of like. The woman, she's from Africa. She doesn't specify what country, but she was saying like they live in very communal living of like, you have several mamas and daddies because the community, like, you know, and this mama may cook and this one gives you spiritual guidance. And
that's how the neighborhoods used to be. Because I can remember growing up in East Chicago, Calumet, what's up? No, but like, I can remember growing up and like, my neighbor I can get in trouble with my neighbor because of something I'm doing. If they catch me slipping, they be like, now you know you're not supposed to be doing that. They're not even telling my mama. Like, they'll tell her afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Afterwards, or going to the community center and having those people at the community center like,
baby, you know you're not supposed to.
Like, I have had so many, Miss Sandy, I love you to death because she has set me down so many times like, now you know you're not supposed to be doing that. Come around here and sit next to me.
Now we chilling.
Now we chilling. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. That's how it should be. That's how teachers should be. That's how that. But unfortunately, people get in these professions for I don't know what reason, baby. The money is not in the teaching. So if you don't like kids, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But that's exactly like how it should be. I would hope that I would have a community where I can trust my neighbors, my community, really be close knit because I don't have everything. I don't know how to do everything. So the things I don't know how to do, I would rather my kids go to someone else that they trust, that I trust, than, you know, them trying to find this out later down the road, you know, from that way. So I would say really ideal is if the communities can be how they used to be, but better and stronger and, you know, consistent. That would be really ideal. But it's gonna start
in my household. Yes, like, the foundation gonna start in my household. I love to cook. I love to clean. Like, I actually enjoy those things. So I don't mind doing it. Like, I would prefer to do it, and I want to make sure that, like you said, this household of mine's my idea. I am married, so like, I'm gonna make sure that my husband take care of before he hit that road. Like, no, real talk. Like, because it's like, whatever's in this household needs to be clean, clear, and corrected. Like, in the household before you even go outside. So it's like, I'm praying that my idea is God idea.
Yeah.
And no, for real.
True, that's factual. It's gotta be like, yeah, that's him cool, but I got different plans for you.
Exactly. So that I can raise my kids in the house, still have my businesses booming, and shoot, everything's everything. Hopefully you my neighbor.
Yeah, for real. Like, girl, in a real ideal situation, I love when people have those compounds, like, and they family be like, I would love to have a bunch of land and my friends and family, we all within, like, we got our own crib. So if I don't want to see you for a little bit, because, you know, I've been seeing you, but girl, if I need you, walk over here. It's wine at night. The kids is put up where the kids is outside.
I love when people
watching
like game. Like, I know Kev on stage. I don't know if you know him or not, but Kev on stage, Angel Lakita Moore, slash Tanksley. No, these are podcasters, but I love them because they come together. Like, they recently had a game night. Everybody came together drinking, and they had a ball, and it was like, that's what I want for myself.
Yes.
That's what I want for myself. I
good vibes, good people. We
I
enjoy ourselves.
Have a community.
Yes, literally. Like, I don't just see you in bad stuff. Because I hate that, because I'm like, you know, there's so much death and everything. Death is normal. I'm not going to say death is just happening now. Death is normal. But I feel like I'm starting to be like, is my funerals outweighing the weddings or the baby shower? Or it don't even have to be big. Like, is it outweighing, like, the last time we kicked it? I don't want to be the last time I seen you with somebody's funeral. I want to be like, we kicked it.
Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Do you want a big wedding? Or do you want an intimate wedding? If you had to, like, of course, it's going to be a conversation between you and your spouse.
Yeah.
But if in your head, what would you prefer?
So before, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I want a big wedding, because, you know, you be looking at not social media, the first social media, TV, of like all of that. But then, like, I really started like, I'm cool with people, I'm cordial, but I don't
pay for them.
One, not trying to pay, but also back to what we talked about on our like, everybody don't always wish you well. People be jealous, and not even be people that sometimes be close to you, just don't see it. So I would definitely want something intimate. I love to travel, so I would want a destination wedding. Like, I would want people, and then to me, it's like, you don't have, your gift is your presence. So you, like, I know you had to pay to get here, you know, all that stuff, you know, so that's your gift. Like, I'm not big on, like, you don't have to gift us anything. You can.
The people that say in the U.S., you can go ahead and go to the registry and go ahead and purchase something if you want.
Exactly. And so to me, that's the biggest thing, is like, I know who's really for me, because you, and of course, it's going to be planned out in advance, but you put in the effort, the money, the time to make sure you was here for this special event for me and mine. So of course, that would make it very intimate. Now, I'm also open to, because, you know, my boyfriend and I are both from, we're from, like, Chicagoland, Hammond area, you know, all of that. So that's where our people would be. So in that case, we were like, okay, well, we would do a reception back home for the people. Because sometimes people genuinely, like, got a situation where you can't get a passport. You know, not just because you couldn't show up doesn't mean you're not here for me. So if you can't show up for that, but that would be different, where it's like, I'm really only supplying food in the venue as opposed to all this wedding cost. But if y'all know anything about me, you know I'm frugal, so you know that I'm gonna have the best of the best deals when it comes. And I'm not trying to do no frivolous spending. Like, when people be doing all that stuff, like, if there's nothing I can take with me, especially because I'm traveling, I'm probably going to do without. It's going to look good, or it's going to be rented, you know, stuff like, I'm not going to just buy stuff just to be buying it type thing. No. So I would definitely say intimate, but I'm here for having something bigger of a reception, but the actual wedding would be very intimate. Yeah.
I think for myself, I am so here for the courthouse. I'm here for, I want to give me a bomb ass dress. I can go to the courthouse. We can go ahead and get married. And then, like you said, I'm okay with the $200, I got a limit, $200 reception party. Like,
girl, this gonna be in the backyard.
Meaning we get a hall, whatever, for like 2-3 hours. And I'm only buying the cake. You eat before you come. Like, and
you gonna put that on the invite.
And it's gonna be BYOB.
BYOE.
Bring on everything.
Yo, chairs, maybe, because you ain't getting chairs in a venue for $200. I don't know who you playing with.
Shit, hopefully somebody I know be like, you can use the spot.
Like, exactly. No, for real. You just might as well use somebody's backyard.
No, for real. Because I just feel like, honestly, I only have a hand, or it's not the courthouse. I don't mind doing, like, literally only 50 people. No more than 50 people. Like,
I feel like that's a lot. Well, as far as wedding wise,
50 people. No, I mean, it's 25 for me, 25 for you.
Oh, true. I forget.
You gotta hit, like, I'm saying, many
They
people.
did
Like,
for me.
no, seriously. So I'm like, yeah, I can do something intimate like that. But the reason why I don't want a big party is because first of all, I don't even know a lot of people like that. I know a lot of people like that, but not like that for them to be in part of my life in that capacity.
Yeah.
And on top of it, it's like, why am I doing all? That's just me personally.
Yeah.
Like me personally, just because I'm not going to want all these people around me, don't mean I'm not gonna want this flash dress. Because I'm gonna be looking the part, baby. I'm gonna look good.
Would you rent or buy your dress?
I probably would create my dress.
Period.
Like, I mean, I could see me buying something and then doing some touches to it. I could see that too. But yeah, even at the whole courthouse, baby, I'm still gonna come to dress and impress. Like, that's just that. But I just don't feel like I need to. Like, I seen on Instagram this man and woman got married on their front stoop.
That's cute.
And had a party in the middle of the street in New York. And I'm like, that's dope.
It's so simple.
The neighbors there get the support. You ain't got to worry about everybody getting dressed and stuff. Just come
and I feel like that comes back to
celebrate.
this community because now your community was a part of it. That's dope.
And they probably spend their money on that brownstone they was celebrating on their wedding day.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's invest into our real future, not this party that we about to have for people.
Yes.
Like, I want to invest into what's really going to happen, what's going to be needed for our family.
In the future. Agree. And so my idea, y'all don't be stealing my idea. No, I'm just kidding. I'm always here for the healing and take what works for you and discard what don't. But like, what my idea would be like, so it would be a week vacation. And this is why I'm like, it would definitely have to be intimate because I know everybody doesn't have the capacity to do that. I would give them optimal enough time, but hopefully. So it would be like, we come in and there's going to be certain days, like the in-laws is going to get like the families who haven't, like the family's going to have family days, like you with your respective family. Then it's going to be like the in-laws meet. Then it's going to be like the girls night and so you get to meet people in different capacities. Then we might have like, the older and the younger generation come together and we're doing activities.
That's
some of
like
it might
Africans do it.
I didn't know that they do
They
that.
do several days.
I know they do days. I just don't know what they do.
It's like
days.
you gotta get approved by the parents in front of everybody. Then it's like the family meet and stuff. Like if they got
So I didn't even know that, but like I just love that. So then it's like really like I'm getting to know my family in different aspects because I feel like you show up for the wedding. Everybody's dressed up. You don't really get to talk to everybody. It's like, oh yeah, I seen you. And the reception kind of be like, oh, I introduced you, make you sit at the same table. But other than like other intimate parties or something, when do you really get to know your in-laws? So that's why I'm like, this trip would be for that. So like, we're building this life of longevity. I want y'all to have this as well. And we really are a family and coming together. So, and it would be things like we are, doing things spiritually. We're doing things physically. We're doing things emotionally, all that type of stuff. And then we come together for the big day, and then it feels even more magical. That energy is really there. God is really present because now we feel more like a family. And then of course afterwards, then it's like, okay, whatever y'all want to do afterwards, this y'all vacation, like, chill, do whatever. So that would be my ideal situation. And that's why I'm like, I know it will be very intimate because not everybody's going. And if you can't get the full week off, that's cool. Come for what you can come for. But the idea is that people gonna be able to spend that time together and really get to know each other and be in longevity. So it's not gonna be like somebody I ain't spoke to in 30 years gonna come over here and be like, baby, who was you? You was outside, So that would definitely be ideal. But like, also, I feel like the more people you have, the more you're thinking about other people's opinions. You stress all this stuff. Like, the wedding is supposed to be...
am not... And I see this too many times.
People don't be enjoying their own wedding.
I'm like,
if
I can't enjoy my own day because I'm stressed about the catering here, this and that, then baby... Throw the whole day away.
My day needs to be full of like healings. Like I'm the start of my day. I'm doing everything I want to do, and I'm so happy to be like I'm not stressed about nothing. And I don't even want to be stressed because some people be like, "Oh, I'm stressed all the way," but the actual day, no, I want everything. And
then all I hear is it's a blick. Like it
you was not part of it, and you spent all that money, baby, to not be a part of nothing. You was literally looking back at pictures and enjoying it more through the pictures than when you was there. No, I wanted to be very like I was enjoying the life.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Okay, so going back to the raising family, so controversial. Do you think your idea of how you want to raise your family, do you think the world will support that? Meaning laws, meaning FDA, the earth, because we are going through global warming. So
no, like, so I don't know about the world, because, like, you know, living in America and Western society, we only know a lot about what we think, and there's a whole nother world out there that thinks differently. I know a lot of other countries are very communal and, like, in the community and, like, you know, all that stuff. Like, when we're big here in America, like, I don't want people in my business. Like, I don't want people in my family business.
I'm taking it to a further level. Like, you know, you gotta be vaccinated to go to school.
No, yeah, I was definitely, getting into all that. So, agreed, like, I wouldn't say I'm pro or anti whatever. I do what works for me. And what works for my family. Right. And that stuff don't work for me. So, I wouldn't do that with my family. So, that's why I agree with you. Like, I'm gonna have to do whatever I have to do. Like, you know, may have to, you know, homeschool my children, all that stuff. And that I'm trying to get to the point where most, if not all, of the things that we consume will be homegrown, you know, so I don't need to go to the grocery store. I don't need to rely on other sources and things like that. So I don't think that outsiders, I'm gonna say the Western world does not support that. There are other countries that are already doing that, and this is not foreign to them. This is like, y'all come over here and, you know, get with that. And maybe that might be, maybe I might live in another country that supports that. So I feel like I have a supportive system. But as far as like vaccinations and all that stuff, like, I hope that by that time they get on board, but Lord knows.
Girl, you talking about by that time, they just said, oh, we got a gun problem. Let's support more guns. So I could just see it being worse. Just made it,
you can get the COVID vaccine as early as 6 months. I was like, and people is excited about this. And I'm but you know what? That's very much controversial. I'm just saying my opinion. Whatever is yours. You know, more power to you. That works for you. This works for me. Or that don't work for me, matter of fact. But so I don't think that it really genuinely supports it. So I would probably move or have to figure out, or I'm okay with being the outsider as long as I feel like I'm doing the best that I can for my family. But I hope the soil is not what it used to be. Like, our stuff is not getting the nutrients. That's why we're so deficient in stuff and all of that. So the earth is not really going to be supportive, but this is the earth that God gave us. This is where I live. So I know that God is going to, if I can't get it from the soil, he's going to give me other resources to make sure my family is good.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's going to be God that's going to make sure we're good. Like, skip what the world got going on.
Right, exactly. And that's agreed. I agreed with all of it, so I really don't need to explain.
That's period. We gonna be living in damn Shakiana.
Okay, no, for real.
Cause what you got in that garden? Cause then that will work of like, I don't need to grow everything. Is the tomatoes good, girl? I'm gonna come bring the cucumbers, girl.
Exactly.
What you make?
That's what I'm saying. Like, just having that community, and just like, I'm gonna make it work. Like, I don't care what the world got going on. I'm gonna make whatever works for me. And if if I feel like there's a barrier in my way, guess what? I'm gonna knock that motherfucker down or go around that bitch, because I'm not about to play. I'm not playing those games. Like, you're not about to tell me what I'm gonna do for my. You're not gonna tell me what I'm gonna do with my body and with my kids' body. That's just not gonna happen. If I'm not harming them, if it's nothing that I need to go to jail for, then baby, you need to go ahead and have sex.
Because you said.
Who cares what you say?
Because you said. These the same people that will come back 20, 30 years later talking about, oh, we was doing this. This was deadly. This was killing people. You got cancer now because we told you that this was okay. I'm not trusting y'all. Even if y'all did mean well, which y'all don't, I'm not trusting y'all. No. Because honestly, for anybody who says we're crazy or radical or whatever you may say, I just want to challenge you. Do as you see fit for your family. Right. But next time you go to the doctor and go get any type of vaccine, ask them for the slip. The slip is the list of all the ingredients. Then take a picture of that, go research the ingredients, and come back and tell me if you still come. Now, granted, some people will do that and be like, I still need it. Right. And that's okay. But I just want you to be educated on what you're doing. You can still get all the vaccination you want, but get that slip. And it's crazy because just by asking for the slip and asking for the ingredients, your doctor gonna start acting different. Yep. Just because you want to be educated. That's a problem. If that's not weird to you, you not. where you at? Because why are you acting different just because I want to know? I didn't say I was going to get it. Like, some people are going to, are still going to get it. Or I'm just trying to be educated. Why are you upset with me? Because I want to know what's going inside of my body.
You probably can't even read half of the things.
You can't. But then when you look it up, you see that some of this stuff is the reason why people are having, like, fertility issues or having cancer or having, a lot of this stuff that we're just putting in our bodies because they said so.
Yeah.
And, like, yeah, that's a whole nother topic. Because I know people are like, oh, but some of this stuff wouldn't be eradicated and all that. Well, you know what? Y'all do it and I'm good. I ain't got to get it because y'all got
it. Thank you. Thank you for protecting us.
Okay.
All right. So, we're coming to the end of the podcast. So, the second to last segment is the Bible game cards. You can get yours down
below. Grannies, daddies, uncles,
all of
the kids, everybody. Get your word in. I'm excited, y'all, because I got my last one right.
You did. You did. Okay.
Hold on, I'll pause.
Okay, I got one. Okay, this is a good one. All right, so what was the special item that Jacob gave Joseph? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is it A, a staff, B, sheep with blemishes, C, a sackcloth, or D, coat with many colors?
The coat.
That's what I'm talking
about.
Definitely gave a coat. For sure. All right. So, definitely, there's a bunch of cards. We've been going through them. Get yours down below.
Yes, they good, y'all. They making me think I'm
So, we're going to move along to the last segment. All right, so we come to the last segment of the podcast. Is what doesn't work for us.
Ain't gonna work.
So, what are some non-negotiable parenting styles?
So because I've worked with kids and have the education in the background, like I'm not here, like I don't want to physically discipline physically discipline my children. Now, I'm not going to say there doesn't come a time where sometimes it may be needed, but that's the last resort. Like, we're going to talk this through. There's going to be other tools and resources that we use before we get there. So that's definitely going to be one. Respecting the eating portion, because like I said, I don't want to introduce.
Doing all of them. You're supposed to do one.
Girl, as you y'all saying one.
I'm over here trying to think of the next one, then you'll take mine. Like,
they could be the same.
No.
But because like I don't eat certain things for health reasons, and I wouldn't want my children to consume those out of like before they have a choice. I would not be okay with you giving the kids that before they have the choice. Now, if you choose to eat meat and the kids are like, I want to eat meat too, that's cool. That can be y'all thing. But before, like when they're younger, months, a few years, like I don't want them to, consume that. And if you're giving it to them on the side, I feel like that's disrespectful.
That's it. You're done. You're cut off.
Whatever. Okay. Well, since we on the same page, you probably gonna talk about mine anyway. So go ahead. Finish them off for me.
So my non-negotiable would be making big decisions without my input. I do not want don't cut my baby's hair if I have a son. Do not cut my baby's hair without talking to me about it. Just because you're talking about, oh yeah, that's a man thing. But that's my baby.
Yeah.
Though. Like,
and that's his antenna.
Don't cut his hair without. Like, at least let's have the conversation. I'm not saying you don't have the right.
Like, you can't be the one to go and do it.
I'm not saying you won't have the last word. But talk to me.
Of course.
Like,
of course.
Let me know what's going on. Like, because I think that happened to somebody recently. I'm like, but that's the baby. Like,
and I feel like when you do stuff like that, you're also showing the kids like, oh, what daddy say goes, or you also not showing a united front.
Right.
And I feel like that's very important.
And that's another thing. Like, if I tell somebody no,
it's no, baby.
It's no.
Like, I need my husband to be, your mama said what she said.
Exactly.
Okay.
We gonna have to have some kind of agreement with it. We have to have some type of agreement within each other to know, like, when they trying to play us. Because
they gonna try. I know
they gonna try. But at the end of the day, no means no.
Exactly.
And if the no turns to a yes, it needs to be a conversation between the parents.
Indeed.
And then we might come to you like, all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But no means no.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I would say another one for me is like education is so important to me.
Yeah.
Like, and that looks like, and I'm not saying I'm not gonna be those people that force my kids to go to college. Like, find out what you like and what works for you and get educated on that.
Yeah.
But that's very important. Like, those are non-negotiables. Like, we not doing school. You know, like, and whatever school looks like for us. But like, you need to know that this is important. So I need my husband to be on that same. But also, I'm also big on like kids expressing themselves and knowing who they are and not limiting them or giving them fear and doubt and stuff like that, and whatever that may look like.
Yeah, I have another one. The video games. It needs to be limited because these kids be in the house playing these video games all day, every
they don't
day,
be outside. What's
all
outside?
day, and then be 400 pounds, and then you talking
Not
about
400.
like, you know what I'm saying? Just feeding them because they
yes.
sitting still, just eating, and it's like, no, you need to get your ass outside and do something.
Outside.
Like something.
Yes.
I don't care what
Yes.
kids
Get out my face.
Kids belong outside.
Yes.
I said it and I don't care.
Yes.
Like kids belong
Literally.
outside.
And so, and I feel like I'm going, my kids, when they get to that point, I pray that for understanding from them. But I'm not letting you get no phone at no early age.
Oh,
like these kids is out here having kids.
I'm bad.
I didn't get no phone until
now
I
we
was
just
12.
talking. We're just talking because we don't have none. But
this is a new
in my head, my kid won't have a phone till junior year of high school.
Okay, that's a little.
I don't care because because
your kid's gonna be at my house. How you?
My kid's gonna be looking for outside sources to get the information because this is why I say this because I'm looking at people that I know that's in high school right now and is stuck on their phone to the point they are dragged into the perception of what things are and don't understand the reality. Yes. Because first of all, they're not seeing it at home, and then second of all, you looking for you getting your source from social media. And I'm sorry, until I know my kid got it together up here and it can think on their own and it's okay with themselves. And that means going through the hard times of kids talking about you in high school. I'm sorry. It's a part of life.
But I feel like with me or my kids, we're going to have those type of conversations frequently. Yeah. So I'm not going to put a time stamp on it because once I feel like you are mature enough and we're having these conversations, you can have. Because I also say that because like my little cousin that I was watching, he has a phone. But he is very mature. Okay. So like I see why he has a phone. Yeah. Now there's some other kids where I'm like, nah, baby, you need to, because he knows he'll stop using his phone and go outside. Yeah. He'd be thirsty to go, so I feel like if, different kids, have that different, so that would be.
It needs to be the mindset.
Yeah, but I'm going to be very weary of social media because I remember my mom was like, no, you're not having no Facebook. Baby, I had me a Facebook. Now, I wasn't doing on there. I ain't had no business doing, but, kids sometimes can't. And then, like you said, that was when it first started. We didn't know. Now we getting into a whole bag of worms and stuff. So now I'm like, I know what social media looks like now and the problems it's causing in young kids' minds. So I can't even imagine by the time I have kids, like what it's going to be evolved to. So we're going to have all those types of conversations. We're going to take social, if I do allow you to have it, you're taking social media break. Something my boyfriend's brother does with his kids is like he has a time limit. So after I think it's like 8:00, the like you don't have access to certain apps, and I like that. So you do have access to a certain extent, but after 9. Who you talking to? That's what he said. Who you texting? Who you talking to? Who you talking to? Who you DMing? You don't need to be doing all that after a certain time. So I like that too. Of like, I'm giving you access, but it's limited access for your own good.
I'm going to sleep when I go to sleep, and that's 8:00. But that's all 8:00. That's another
well, they in school, so as they should.
Yeah.
So that's another story.
Well, that is the end of this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it.
Please let us know about your families, what works for y'all. If you have completely different, opinions, if you agree with some of us, put us on because we ain't got families yet. Give us resources and tools, and baby, that ain't gonna work. Or this works.
Exactly. Go ahead and leave those comments below. You can also DM us on Instagram. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all the things. And that's it.
Yes, we appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. Bye.